There we go. Joe, it's great to be talking today. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, John. Thank you.
Now, I want to do two things. I want to congratulate you on making the finals of Survivor, but more importantly, I come from a background where I put up, as a child, there was spousal abuse in my household. I saw things that, probably kids shouldn't see. It was really hard growing up, where everybody wanted to go home to that safe place. It was hard growing up not wanting to go home. What did it mean to you to bring that issue out and talk about that and make that part of your journey on Survivor?
Well, first off, I'm very sorry to hear that, and thank you for sharing. But it's conversations like this, and honestly, that moment was not fake. And the production, the editors, everyone involved in Survivor, I just want to thank everybody for letting that happen and allowing me to do that. And it happened naturally. My son's letter and my daughter's letter, and my wife's letter. It just reminded me. It gave me the courage to say, hey, like the real thing I want to be courageous about is it's easy to say things that we've talked about. There
Right.
was just some deep-seated issues, like you just mentioned yourself, that I don't share with many people. And I thought, if I really want to be courageous for my kids, this is the best way to do it is to be super vulnerable. And that was just something that I've been carrying around since it happened. And
Yeah.
people like yourself and others that have suffered domestic violence situations, like I just needed to get it out there. So many people suffer from that. Hopefully we can all start healing, getting some help.
That would be a great thing. And I know that I've read about the strides that you've made in the bill and supporting that bill in your sister's honor. What are some of the things, just briefly, what are some of the things you think need to be done to address this issue even more?
It's a great question. And thank you for asking it. You know, um, for one, grace is that allow people the space to share it without judgment. I think what happened with our family particularly is, well, why didn't you leave? Or, why not just walk away from it? Or only weak people this happens to, or the family. Why don't or disbelief. So and so
Right.
wouldn't do that, whether it's a man or a woman, or they wouldn't do that to their kids. Oh, they wouldn't this and that. And it's just believing people, giving people, it starts with that, is allowing people the space to share
Right.
and listen and then act. And don't be so judgmental. It's like it's easy to say you'd walk away when these situations don't happen overnight. You don't
Right.
come home one day and it's just all of a sudden it's people are getting beat up.
Right.
Typically, it's a slow grind
Right.
with people you deeply care about. I mean, yeah, a stranger assaults my family, it's different.
Right.
So I think people like yourself who are willing to bring up the topic, people like you, my man, like that,
Yeah.
that's how we change it is slowly and just not don't belittle it. People belittle it all the time. Like, oh, I just said this. Verbal abuse can be more damaging sometimes than anything.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
that, man, just awareness.
Yeah, in my situation, it just taught me the father I didn't want to be. And
Yep.
that set me on a good road as far as like understanding how I want to treat my son and how I want to raise my son. Now, speaking of support, you took Eva, I just finished speaking with her, you took Eva on as almost like your adopted daughter, and you reached out to her without any reservation about what it would do to your game. What did it mean for you? We saw how much she relied on you. How much did it mean for you to have her out there?
That's another great question. And I want to say before I dive into that is that
Yeah.
I wish people remembered that I feel why that alliance was I'm so proud of what happened is this wasn't something that her and I linked up day one and said, we're going to do this. Let's be this public upfront group that just throws it in your face and we're going to be these monsters out there. It's like people got to remember she shared something. Imagine if I'm not on her tribe, I'm
Right.
on a different season. What if she never has an episode? Does it even come up? And so the
Right.
fact that all of that aligned, what she gave me, sorry, pardon me.
That's all right.
Sorry, I get emotional with it.
As you should be, Joe. You have a very strong connection to her.
She excuse me. So she saved my life, like
Right.
giving the world the opportunity to show um you can do it your way. You don't,
Right.
I'm not discrediting anybody that backstabs or cheats or lies or whatever on Survivor. I encourage everyone to play the way they want to play.
Right.
I'm proud that this young woman was able to give me the opportunity to really show my kids like who I really am. You know, that's just it's like that moment of that where you have the ability to act and you just hope when it happens you do. And I'm so grateful to her, and she will always be a part of my life. She's very special to me.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. Now, as part of tribal council last night,
Yeah.
Kyle dropped a bomb and said, "Hey, this is how things really went down." What
Yeah.
was your reaction to that? And did you feel like, "Oh no, what's going on here?"
You know, I think what's funny is in the exit press, or there's a lot of people that say things, and I don't want to disrespect their game, like, oh, I
Yeah,
knew, or listen, sure, you saw side conversations. Sure, there's theories, but
right,
did I know the depth? And this is another thing. I wish people owned more like, hey, we all didn't win, other than Kyle, obviously.
right,
But you have to own that. Like, it's not, we can blame everybody and blame, but at the end of the day, you got to wear more of it. And I'm not going to
right,
attack my castaways with this, but it's brutal because Kyle and Camilla and I and Eva, we share real things
right,
outside of the game that I would never share publicly, but
right,
that were real. And then you get lies and deceit from the game. And so that's what makes it complicated is in your normal life, that doesn't happen typically, right? Like you
right.
don't share something like you just did with me, and then I turn around and I lie about what I do. So
Yeah,
but you right? You recognize that it's part of the game, but that's why your brain is so scrambled, is that
right,
I'm sitting there. I didn't know they had. Here's the deal. I knew that they obviously had a friendship, but did
right.
I know the depth? I'm going to be honest. No, I did not. Did I have any inclination at all what Eva did as a profession or Kyle? No. It's
Chris.
just because with trust. But here's the deal. But in a weird way, what people forget is the same relationship that I invested in with Kyle, I think kept me in the game
Right,
because he could have swung at me and taken me out.
right.
And I feel it's the relationship that we both built complicated that for him.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And so it's a weird, like, on one hand, it was deception that he won, but on the same token, without the relationship, I would have went home 2 or 3 votes earlier.
right.
So man, but I watch it back and I'm like, oh man, I hope I didn't look like an idiot because I had no idea.
Well, all I know is from all the castaways that I've talked to, they all spoke about you with high regard. So there's that.
Oh, that's
There are
awesome.
some that said, though, in the context of playing the game, Joe
Right.
was the godfather. People went to him, people got his permission. What I got, this has been out there for so long. I want you to have the chance to give some clap back. How do you respond to that, Joe?
Thank you for allowing the like space to finally respond to this. Like, first and foremost, like I
Yeah.
made it a point. I'm never gonna blast anybody or go after anybody because like you read the press and you're like, oh man, I want to respond to this. But here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. I feel that's in a weird way an honor if people feel, but here's what's weird about that. So
Right,
you get the almost the hate of this Godfather image is what people said, not me.
right,
If but yet you get 1 vote. So it's like, it's like, okay, but wait a minute. I controlled this, but I did. So what I really equate it to is your perception is your reality. And I
right,
think that it wasn't fake and I'm just trying to live it I would in real life.
right,
Maybe that was my downfall, but I'm trying to just like you and I, like if we were out there, what we just talked about.
right,
I would hope that that's not fake. I'm not doing that to, and what happens is I feel it builds momentum between people.
right.
And if people aren't into social connections,
Yeah,
it can present this like situation where it's like, oh, they're on the top, we're on the bottom. That doesn't exist out there because it changes every minute.
yeah,
Right? Like I don't win immunity, I'm on the bottom
right.
like that. Right? Like I think it's hilarious and we're not presenting that. And I want to say too, if I could real quick, is that,
Sure.
you know, this concept of this integrity and loyalty, where's this weight that it's like saying this person's better than? a person that doesn't. That's not it's like, hey, listen, everyone should be allowed to play Survivor the way they want to play Survivor. And why is any way better or worse? Why is integrity better or worse than cutting your throat? I believe that because you should have the ability, like in life, like live your life, play your game, and don't judge the people that play it their way. Like that's what's hard, is it turns into this righteousness. Like
Right.
no one said they're better than anyone else. It just unfolds. So to really get back to the point with you, the question is that, you know, I never stated I was this godfather or tried to present that. I just think I'm an old dad that just tried to build relationships, you know? But it was pretty funny to hear it.
Now, asked this of all the survivors because, again, we only get to see a small part of your journey, obviously. Is there anything about your journey, whether it was a moment with someone, whether it was a strategic moment, is there anything about your edit that you wish people would have been able to see?
Oh yeah. There's a couple, but the depth of Shaheen and I's relationship. I mean,
Right,
that really, maybe we can get into that vote out, but he like that it was we were very deep. We were very, very close.
right,
Kyle and myself and Camilla. Like we really were, and that like it was not fake. There were some truly deep seated kind of off camera moments
right,
that would I'll always keep with me personally. I'll never share their business, but I wish that was not that it could be seen because it was so private, but I wish you could feel it a little more on camera,
right, right,
specifically with Camilla. Like it would make more sense, I think, on why moves were harder for everybody because we weren't just out there being robots.
right,
We had
right.
some genuine connection. So, but yeah.
Well, that's what some people don't understand. You're not TV characters, you're not whatever. You guys are real people. You have real connections and real family. Knowing everything that you've gone through, would you ever go back out there again, Joe?
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's hard to leave the kids. It really is. And my wife, it is
Right,
hard, but I
right.
would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Now, what would you do any differently looking at the game you played?
Oh, great question. This is going to sound okay. So this sounds crazy, but because hindsight, right? I would do this, I would do that. I
Right.
wouldn't do
Yeah.
anything different. And here's why. Your kids, as a dad, like you don't get the opportunity to show your kids your failures on
Right.
TV,
Right.
right? Like I can tell you about what I did in high school over 20 some years ago, but they don't get the context. I wouldn't do anything different because the mistakes I made or the vulnerability or the tears or everything that happened, it happened naturally.
Right.
And they got to see that live. And now all of it is teachable moments. Like, hey, look how I wish I would have handled this better. Oh, I'm proud of that. I'm not proud of this. And so, in a weird way, the highs, the lows, the bads, like you can't have time for that type of regret. You just
Right.
have to lean into it and go, you know what? Like that's as imperfect as I am.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. And so I'm glad that it was represented on there and I'm proud of the imperfection.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as another father, your kids think you're a superhero, and it is at times when you have those failings, it is hard to deal with. But it's like my grandfather always said to me growing up. He said, like, and he was more of a father to me, and he said, you learn more from your failures than your successes as you go through life. Now, one thing that was a big success
Right.
is in the new era, usually the jocks are targeted, the jocks are kicked out. You guys banded
Right.
together and you switched
Right.
the narrative. How do you feel about that, and how did it all come together, Joe?
Oh man. So but okay, so here's what that topic. Like to be clear, remember, the labels I realized in this exit press too, and when you go online, man, it's brutal because they try to
Right.
divide everybody, right? But you are right. Typically speaking, the in the past,
Yeah.
the anyone winning challenges, whoever that might be, female, male, whatever,
Yeah.
if they win challenges, they are voted out a lot in the merge, or the perceived threats are voted out at the merge.
Yeah.
I think really, my mission was not that. My mission was not like a revolution, if you will, or
Right.
changing the game. My mission was I don't know enough of the game because I hadn't played at the time. What to like come up with this to out scheme the game. I'm
Right.
just gonna be me and let it roll. David really led that charge. And I'm going to be honest, like, had he come to me with the majority saying, hey, the majority is going to do this, you kind of go, well, I guess that's what we're doing. And I'm not playing the victim, but I'm like, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm also
Right.
not like, that wasn't the goal to divide. It was just like, well, I hate to say it, like, look over there. As long as you're kind of, look over there, look over there. Don't look at me. Like, there's this survival part of it that happened. But I will say it was refreshing to flip. I love just flipping anything on its head when the crowd wants to tell you how it is. Oh, it
Right.
has to be done this way. Oh, it does. I'm just in support because let's just say the game was only honesty and loyalty. I'd be like, well, I like the freedom to
Yeah,
be you.
exactly. Well, Joe, it was wonderful talking to you again. Thank you once again for bringing an important topic to people's consciousness, because I think that's weaving that into part of your journey was amazing. All the best of luck to you in the future, and who knows, we might see you again.
Thank you so much. I just appreciate what you do. Thank you for sharing your story, and it means the world to me and your vulnerability. And it was great talking to you. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, Joe. Take care.